The most important vitamin, without which your nerves literally start to fail, and in extreme cases can even die. It's a vitamin that constantly comes up in discussions about sciatica and neuropathy. A nerve is not a metal wire that always conducts electricity. A nerve is a living tissue. It has metabolic needs. It has to be nourished, maintained, and kept alive. To produce energy, we need nutrients. And to turn those nutrients into usable energy, we need vitamins. And one of the most critical of all is vitamin B1, thiamine. Why are nerves so incredibly important? Because the brain gives us consciousness. Without brain function, we are essentially not alive. Nerves carry sensation. They let us experience the world. They also carry signals from the brain to muscles, which is how we move. Healthy nerves are absolutely essential to being human. So, where do nerves get their energy? From the most hated and unfashionable nutrient of modern times, glucose. Yes, too much sugar causes huge problems like diabetes, obesity, and metabolic disease. But we cannot forget something extremely important. Glucose is the primary fuel of the brain and the nervous system. This is why people with diabetes can die if they receive too much insulin. Blood sugar drops, the brain runs out of fuel, and the brain cannot survive without energy. When I worked in emergency medical services, I saw this many times. People with severe hypoglycemia were unconscious, completely gone. Then we gave IV glucose, and suddenly they came back. They opened their eyes, they spoke, they stood up. It was shocking to witness. That's when I truly understood how essential glucose is. When glucose disappears, it's like switching off the lights. The brain simply stops working. But here's the crucial part. To turn glucose into energy, through a process called glycolysis, the brain needs vitamin B1. Without B1, the brain and nerves cannot generate enough energy. And without energy, nerves cannot survive. This is why thiamine deficiency is so dangerous. Humans have a huge brain compared to body size. We can create, communicate, and think abstractly. But this incredible brain is extremely expensive in energy terms. The brain is only 2% of body weight, yet it consumes around 20% of all energy your body produces. Most of that energy comes from glucose, and vitamin B1 is essential for using that glucose. So when was vitamin B1 deficiency first discovered? In Asia, where people lived largely on rice, the rice began to be polished. Then husk and germ were removed, and suddenly a mysterious disease spread. People developed nerve damage and heart failure. Their muscles wasted away, sensation disappeared, their hearts stopped working properly. No one knew why, until scientists discovered that the rice husk and germ contained vitamin B1. Once diet and supplementation changed, the disease could be stopped. Today, we don't see classic beriberi very often, but B1 deficiency still exists, even in developed countries. One of the biggest causes is alcohol. Alcohol blocks thiamine storage, activation, and absorption. And people struggling with alcohol often neglect nutrition. They drink instead of eating. You may have seen the typical walk of someone with severe alcohol dependence, wide-based, unsteady, with dropping feet. Part of this is cerebellar damage, but often it's also peripheral neuropathy. Muscles weaken, the foot drops, and the person starts lifting the leg high, almost like a crane, to avoid tripping. B1 deficiency also damages the brain. There is a condition called Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. When thiamine is too low, parts of the brain can literally die and memory disappears. But here's the strange part. Patients don't always say, "I don't remember." Instead, they confabulate. They unknowingly invent memories and stories to fill the gaps. This is a severe condition treated with intravenous vitamin B1. Can non-alcoholics be deficient? Absolutely. Severe obesity can cause it, because eating a lot does not mean eating well. Junk food can be high in calories but poor in nutrients. Malnutrition can also happen after life changes. For example, widowers often struggle with diet after losing their spouse. Statistically, widowers live shorter lives than widows, and lifestyle and nutrition play a major role. B vitamins, including B1, are often used in sciatica. Sciatica is a severe shooting pain down the leg, usually caused by a compressed nerve root in the lumbar spine. The nerve is compressed by a herniated disc and inflamed, and swelling develops. Can vitamin B1 cure sciatica? No. It's not causal treatment. Real treatment reduces inflammation and swelling, anti-inflammatory medications, physiotherapy, epidural injections, and sometimes surgery. But vitamins can be helpful supportive therapy, especially if a deficiency exists, because nerves regenerate poorly without proper nutrition. We want to give nerves everything they need to recover. But remember, this is an add-on, not the main treatment. To sum it up, vitamin B1 is essential for the health of the brain and the peripheral nerves. Deficiency is most common in people who abuse alcohol and those with poor nutrition. With balanced diet, deficiency is unlikely. Supplementation makes sense when there is a reason, and it can be used as a supportive therapy in sciatica and neuropathies. Remember that pain in most cases can be relieved, and very often it can be treated effectively or even cured. If you are experiencing symptoms, don't ignore them and don't lose hope. Go and see a doctor. Modern medicine is advancing faster than ever. And today, we have many minimally invasive ways to help people feel better and return to normal life. In many situations, doctors can help you faster and more comfortably than you might expect. But the most important step is simply this: get properly evaluated, get diagnosed, because once we understand the true source of the problem, we can begin to treat it in the right way. You don't have to live with pain. You don't have to accept suffering as your destiny. Help exists, treatment exists, and progress is being made every day. Take that first step. Speak to a healthcare professional. Your future self will thank you.